Okay, let's face it, AI is absolutely everywhere. It's in the chatbot you talk to for customer service, it's in the tools that create those incredible images you see online. But what's really going on behind the scenes with systems like ChatGPT? Well, today we're going to pull back the curtain on the exact technology that's changing everything: large language models.
If you've ever asked an AI to translate a sentence or maybe boil down a super long article, or even just brainstorm a catchy new title for something, then you've already used a large language model, or what we call an LLM. And the truly wild part is how they take these really complex requests and spit back answers that feel incredibly human.
So, we hear the term LLM thrown around all the time, right? But what does it actually mean? Let's break it down right now. To really get a handle on how this tech is shaking up our world, we've got to start with a simple, clear definition.
At its very core, you can think of an LLM as a super-powered prediction engine. Just imagine it's been forced to read a gigantic library. I'm talking a huge chunk of the entire internet. And from all that reading, it starts to learn all the tiny, intricate patterns of how we talk and write. Thus, lets it predict the most likely word to come next in a sentence, and then the next one, and the one after that, until it strings them all together into a complete, coherent thought.
So, where do LLMs fit into the whole AI universe? It kind of helps to think of it like those Russian nesting dolls. The biggest doll, the whole field, is artificial intelligence. Inside that, you've got machine learning, which is where systems learn from data instead of being told what to do. A special part of that is deep learning, which uses these complex things called neural networks. And a really cool part of deep learning is generative AI. That's all about creating brand new stuff. And right there, that's where LLMs live. They're a really powerful piece of that generative AI puzzle.
Okay, but that brings up a really good question. If the ideas behind AI have actually been around for decades, why does it feel like it just exploded into our lives, like yesterday?
The truth is, this has been a very, very long time coming. I mean, way back in the 50s, the first attempts used these really clunky, hard-coded grammar rules that broke pretty easily. Then, as the internet gave us more and more data to work with, things got better. A massive jump happened in 2018 with Google's BERT, which was just revolutionary at understanding the context of words. But let's be honest, the real game changer was 2022. That's when ChatGPT dropped and put all of this insane power into a simple little chat box that anyone could use. It was really a perfect storm of four big things all hitting at the exact same time. First, we got way better at training these things, using methods like human feedback to fine-tune them. Second, we had this explosion in raw computing power, mostly thanks to advances in GPUs. Third, we just had mountains of high-quality data to feed them. And last, but maybe most important, apps like ChatGPT made it super accessible, which created this massive feedback loop of people using it and developers making it even better.
Okay, so we know what they are and why they're so huge right now. But let's get practical. How are real people and actual companies putting these things to work? I mean, the uses are just popping up in every single industry. Think about smarter chatbots that actually solve your problems, or coding assistants that help programmers write and fix code way faster. Companies are using LLMs to analyze what customers are saying online, to instantly translate documents, or even to create a summary of that hour-long meeting you missed. It's become a huge productivity tool, especially for just getting started on a project or brainstorming new ideas.
Now listen up, because this next point is absolutely 100% crucial to remember. An LLM's main job is to create language that sounds convincing. It is not a fact checker. It's not a database of truth. They can, and they often do, just make things up. It's a thing called hallucination. So the most important takeaway here is never trust, always verify. You've got to fact check any important information an LLM gives you.
So as this tech gets more and more common, anyone who wants to use it basically comes to a fork in the road. It really boils down to two main paths, or you could call them two flavors of AI. So on one side, you have proprietary models, like GPT-4 from OpenAI. These are the big guns, super powerful, and really easy to use. The catch? They can get expensive, and you have to send your data to their servers, which can be a no-go for privacy. But then you've got the other side, the fast-growing world of open source models. Things like Llama. You can run these on your own computers, which gives you total privacy and control. You can even fine-tune them with your own data to create your own personal expert.
So which one's better? Well, the thing is, it's not really an either-or decision. What we're seeing is that the smartest play is to use a mix of both. A company might use a big proprietary model for general stuff, but then use a highly tuned open source model for its really sensitive, specialized work. The big takeaway here is that having control, understanding, and ownership of your AI is becoming more and more important.
Look, everything we've talked about so far is pretty amazing, right? But it's really just the beginning. The next big evolution in AI is already happening, and it's about moving way beyond just talking. The next massive leap is something called Agentic AI. Think about it like this. Instead of just answering your questions, these systems can actually do things. They use an LLM as the brain to understand a goal, come up with a plan, and then use other tools like browsing a website or writing an email to get the job done. We are shifting from an AI that can talk to an AI that can act. And that brings us to this really pivotal moment. This technology is changing from a passive tool we get information from into an active agent that can carry out tasks for us in the real world. And that leaves us with a huge and kind of profound question, not for some distant future, but for right now. As AI learns not just to talk, but to act, what are we going to ask it to do?